Video, we are going to look at three things. We are going to look at a cappuccino, flat white, and cafe latte. What is the difference between these three beverages? First, let's look at the similarities. When you hear about the cappuccino, cafe latte, and flat white, all these are drinks comprised of a shot of espresso and steamed milk. A shot of espresso and steamed milk. And whereby these three beverages can also be served with either a single shot of espresso or a double shot of espresso. So basically those are the similarities, but the differences are the ones that matter most, whereby most of the people or most of the clients are asking me, what is the difference between a cappuccino, flat white, and cafe latte? Like you saw in the previous video, we looked at the difference between a macchiato, piccolo, and cortado. Still, people are getting confused, but after watching that video, they were really thankful. So let's go into the purpose of this video. So when we look at these three beverages, what are we going to determine at to see the differences between these three? Flat white, cappuccino, and cafe latte. First, we are going to look at the vessels. I am going to tell you these things basing on the hotel standard formula or the barista, hotel barista standard form or way. When we look at the vessels, a cafe latte is always served in a glass for dine-in. For a takeaway, you are going to find most of the cafes serving in a paper cup. But for the hotel dine-in or a cafe or a restaurant, they always serve it in a glass. Then when we look at a cappuccino, it is always served in this ceramic cup. And a flat white also, it is always served in a ceramic cup. But where do we see the difference between these vessels? So if we are to look at them closely, this is a glass whereby it can either be 8 to 12 O's for a cafe latte, and a cappuccino it can either be 8 still to 12 O's. But remember, a cappuccino is deliberately served in a ceramic cup, and a cafe latte is always served in a glass. So when it comes to the flat white, this basically can be served in either a 5 O's, 6 O's, or 7 O's. But the most preferable size is the 6 O's. And the most preferable size for the cappuccino is 8 O's, and for cafe latte is 8 O's. But with this, still, if you find a person serving 12 O's, of course you can serve a single shot in a 12 O's. You are going to serve a double shot of espresso. So when we look at what next, we are going to look at the what? We are going to look at the sizes of the milk. The bigger the vessel, the much more milk it gets to consume. The bigger the vessel. So if we're to look at this glass, it's like this is a 9 O's. Sorry, this is a 10 O's glass. That means it is going to consume much more milk than a 8 O's cup or a 6 O's or a 6 O's cup. So basically, a cafe latte is going to consume between 250 to 300 mils of milk. A cappuccino is going to consume 250 to 350 mils. That also depends on the what? On the vessel that you're going to place your beverage. And a flat white simply will basically hold 180 to 230 mils of milk. So we have looked at the milk and the vessel size. So when it comes to still the espresso, I've explained that all of them can easily consume a double or a single shot, because basing on the customers or clients taste that they really want to enjoy. It can be a starters which is going to ask for a single shot, or a regular customer who will always ask for a double shot. So when we look at the temperature of these beverages, what do we need? For a cafe latte, it is always a hot latte. Sorry, it is always a very hot beverages. It's always a very hot beverage, differentiating from the cappuccino and the flat white. What do I mean? This, while steaming or while making a cafe latte, it is always going to be between 70 to 80, but 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. But you're going to find those clients who are always going to ask for 90 to 100 degrees. So all those clients that ask for 90 to 100 degrees, those are the clients that would like it very, very hot. I think most of us have experienced that whereby most of the clients are asking for very hot beverages. And when it comes to the cappuccino, The cappuccino ranges between 50 to 70 degrees. It is never hot beverage. Not all that hot, not all that cold. So it's regularly between. I think if you've watched one of my videos on how to make a cappuccino, there is a way how I choose to regulate the temperature between your 3 fingers. And when it comes to a flat white, it's also going to be between 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. So for a cappuccino, it's always 50 to 70, and I like my cappuccino always at 50 because it gives me out the flavors, different flavors. It doesn't burn the flavors like the cafe latte. So after looking at the temperature still while steaming, you're going to find that a cafe latte has less froth. Like you're going to see, a cafe latte has less froth. Then a cappuccino, it has much more froth. That's why you're going to hear most of the baristas say a ratio of 1 to 1 to 1. What do they mean? If this is a 8 ounce cup, that basically means it's going to consume like 2.5 espresso, 2.5 ounces of espresso, 2.5 milk, and 2.5 of the froth to reach the what? To reach the right amount of the cappuccino. Then when it comes to the flat white, still we are going to basically steam it to gain a very light froth, like for a cafe latte. It doesn't have to be much froth in a flat white, but the temperature has to be between 60 to 70 for the flat white. Okay, so all right, so as we continue our video, I think just in case you're a new member watching or you've been watching my videos without subscribing, I think this is the high time you get to subscribe as we get to continue with this video. So I think I'm going to basically explain to you more as I am trying to make these beverages. And while I'm making them, we are going to see how you can easily steam, how you can easily raise the temperature, because like I told you, I don't have a thermometer right now, but I'm going to use my 3 fingers. Yeah, I think we can easily see this. I'm going to use my 3 fingers to determine the temperature of the cafe latte, the cappuccino, and a flat white. So let's get started. What are we going to need? We are going to need our vessels, which is the pitcher. We are going to need our milk right there, and still we are going to need our coffee grounds. So I think I'll begin by extracting my shot of espresso. And as I'll grind, I'm going to start with a flat white. Okay, purge out. Okay, so as I'm steaming the flat white, I will use my 6 ounce pitcher. Sorry, I'm going to use my 400 mils pitcher. So I'm going to place very little milk. Like you see, this is a 6 ounce cup. I don't have to put in too much milk into the pitcher so that I get to waste. I'll just put a little milk, just a quarter way of the pitcher. Then I am going to steam. So right now I am using a double shot of espresso. And while I am steaming, I'm going to place my fingers like this. This is 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. You're going to find that while I'm steaming the cappuccino and a flat white, once I lift up the second finger, that means I have raised a temperature of between 60 to 80 degrees. So once I raise this, then you're going to understand that I am done with the steaming and I've raised the temperature that I'm looking for. So I don't have to stretch too much because I don't need too much froth while doing what? While making my beverages. So like you see, I've risen the temperature, and that also depends on the machine that you have. Some machines don't have too much steam like you see, but I think mine has the froth or the steam that I need to easily raise the temperature that I need. So I am going to pour, and this is our flat white. Okay, so after making our flat white, what is next? We are going to deal with the cappuccino next. Like you see, I am trying to do what? I am trying to place these beverages in orders. There is a reason as to why I am doing that. And at the end of this video, you are going to get the point as to why I have started with a flat white up to cappuccino, then lastly the cafe latte, because I want you to witness something at the end of this video. Okay, purge then. So while making our cappuccino, you are going to realize that the steaming is going to be different. While I was making my flat white, I didn't overstretch. But while I am making the cappuccino, I am going to overstretch like 3 times. Pss, 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 like how baristas get to understand that this is enough froth for me. Okay, I'll put less milk, then I am going to stretch it. I put milk up to this point, underneath the gauge where most of the baristas know. Then I'll have to stretch my milk up to this gauge to raise the right and perfect froth. Like you hear, I am still stretching to get the perfect. So after stretching, then I boil to get the perfect what? Temperature for my cappuccino. So we are done and we make our cappuccino. I won't talk about pouring because in the previous videos I have a full video on how you can easily pour your what? Your cappuccino to have a nice latte. So this is our cappuccino. So what is next? Last, we are going to pour our cafe latte. So as I'm pouring my cafe latte, you are going to witness something that while I'm stretching, I am going to stretch as if I'm stretching for the flat white. Okay. So basically, since my glass is very tall, to fix it inside, I'll assist myself with a small cup so that I extract a shot of espresso, then I'll just transfer it into the vessel or into the glass. Okay, I'll dispose of this here and okay, I think that's enough milk. That's enough stretching. Now I have to boil to raise the right temperature to max steam. Oh, wow, very hot. Okay, so we are done with that. And now I am going to pour a cafe latte. So here you have to witness how the milk gets to entangle with the what? With a shot of espresso. So while pouring, what you are witnessing, this happens in a cappuccino flat white. So this is how you are supposed to pour to have a nice blend of a cappuccino or of any beverages that you are trying to serve to your client. And it's full. So, just excuse me. Okay, now I'll just place my beverages here. And we are going to witness some of the things that we have been looking at. Devi, help with Malag. Go ahead. Shukran, Habibi. All right, so I'll bring my phone very close. I don't know whether you can easily see this, but okay, we shall try from there. Okay, let's remove the light, at least to have a nice glimpse of these beverages. So, herewith, let's first start with the flat white. Like you see, my lighting, the lighting, okay, let's do like this. The lighting is kind of strong, but I think we can deal with this. So if you to look at these 3 beverages, this looks very strong with a flat white. It looks very strong, and the cappuccino looks kind of light, and the cafe latte still looks more than light. So why does this look very strong when it comes to the what? When it comes to the flat white? Due to the fact that the cup is 6 O's. That basically means that we are going to put less milk and less froth, and the espresso is going to overlap with the what? with a milk beverage. And when it comes to the cappuccino, still this is a ratio of 1 to 1 to 1. The froth, the milk, and the espresso. So that basically means that each beverage that we've put in this cup has to mix up very well so that we have a perfect blend. That doesn't mean that this doesn't have a perfect blend and this doesn't have a perfect blend, but when it comes to the taste, this tastes strong, then this comes to a medium, and this comes to a light. Like you see these beverages, this is very, very light. So when it comes to the froth, like you see, when I push the froth back, the froth is not all that too much when it comes to entangling. And when you look at this, the beverage is really strong. So when you take a flat white, it's going to taste very strong when it comes to your palate or your tongue. And when it comes to a cappuccino, stop calling. Okay, so someone was calling. I'm sorry about that. Whoever is calling, first stop. So when it comes to a cappuccino, once we push our froth back, you see the froth is coming back. That means basically the froth is just perfect. Like I told you, if this is the espresso, the milk will come to this level, ratio of 2.5 to 2.5, and the froth will come to this level, so that when a person is enjoying their beverage, it has to taste like a dessert. Basically, when it comes to the cappuccino, you have to entangle the milk, the espresso, and the froth all together when it comes to the what? When it comes to the cup inside. And when it comes to the cafe latte, like you see, the froth is very little, based on the size of the vessel that we're using. Like you see, the froth is just let me say a quarter, not even half a quarter way of the vessel. So the froth of a cafe latte doesn't have to be much, like you see. But once you look at these beverages, the three beverages, while pouring, they have to have a perfect blend, which is really going to give you nice flavors like milk chocolate, caramel, and many other beverages, depending on the quality or the kind of milk that you're using and the kind of coffee that you are using. That also means that you can also easily have a perfect coffee that you are using, but still don't forget to have a nice calibration when it comes to the what? When it comes to making your coffee. I think basically with those few basic differences, I hope you have any other questions that you are going to place into the what? Into the comment section, and I'll be recording videos that I'll just upload to explain more and more and more of what you need to learn. So I think with all that, allow me to wish you a good night. And just in case you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe and please share these videos, because many people out there want to become baristas, many people want to learn how to drink coffee, and many want to improve on how they can easily make their coffee best of their quality, so that they can easily serve to their clients. I have taught you many things: how to calibrate, how to make a perfect shot of espresso, and how to make many more other beverages. And with all that, so I think I need to go and rest. Allow me to wish you a good morning, a good evening, a good afternoon, wherever you are watching from. See you next time, see you next Sunday. And not forgetting that whoever asked me to record a video about barista interviews, please, I am thinking about it, and I am going to make sure that as soon as possible I upload that video to answer to you about the questions they ask, how you need to prepare, and how you need to answer back to the interviewer that is trying to ask you different questions. So with all that, allow me to wish you a nice day.